Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. The markets are showing so much volatility right now, it's shaking a lot of people out. Does this mean that we're about to drop and go much lower from here? Or is this just a short-term shakeout before we eventually start heading upwards of 12 to 14K? I want to talk about these things today in a little bit of a different format. I wanted to be able to go over, talk about some of my information that I wanted to share with you on more of a personal level. I know that with this volatility, it can really shake a lot of people out. And sometimes when I make my charts, it's not quite as clear as I'd like to make it. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips, some pointers on how to manage this volatility, how to actually go about trading it profitably, and what to do if you're feeling a little bit scared and shaken out right now. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. Always remember guys, I have a Discord server with over 8,000 members. This thing is growing so fast and I just want to be able to get as many people on board as I possibly can. I really do appreciate having so many positive and uplifting faces in there congregating, as well as just being helpful for all of the other new people that get into this space. That's really what I wanted to make out of this Discord server and community, was just somewhere where people could learn, educate themselves, and go about profiting on a completely different way than they normally would have. On the Discord server, I also offer some of my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. The video course is 20 educational videos that teach you guys all of my strategies for profiting. All of the courses that I've paid for, all of the mentorship is going to be taught to you guys right here. So it's a really good value. I highly recommend that you guys check that out. Now the signals are actually a way for you guys to copy all of my trading plans and portfolios. So if you're getting shaken out right now with this volatility in the market, I highly recommend that you guys check out the server. Ask me some questions in the DM and I will be able to get back to you guys with all of the information needed on how to sign up and what you'll actually get when you do sign up for all of these. Alrighty guys, we got a lot of really amazing things to talk about today, so let's jump right in the video. So really what I want to talk about to you guys today is just the fact that Bitcoin has started to sell off a little bit. We had a gnarly rejection that just barely happened right when we temporarily pierced above 10K. 10K and 10.5K has been a major resistance level for Bitcoin for a while now. It's been really challenging and we haven't been able to make it above this level, which is really the last thing that stands between us and then the full-blown bull run. But really guys, even with this sell-off, altcoins are showing strength right now. Altcoins are actually outperforming against the Bitcoin pair, and that's really important guys, because the only way we have alt season and the only way that we can make money off of altcoins is if they do start outperforming Bitcoin. With Bitcoin starting to sell off and altcoins showing strength, I think that the majority of profitable positions will be found in the altcoin market, and that's really where I'm focusing my attention for. I've been buying and spending really all of my Bitcoin on altcoins, not all of it, but I still hold a decent amount of Bitcoin. However, I've been using my Bitcoin to actually leverage back into the altcoins, and thus far I'm actually in a lot of profit. I've been accumulating Chainlink, been accumulating Ethereum, Tezos. You know, even with all of the markets starting to show off with this little sell-off that we're seeing right now, it doesn't really change the long-term stance. Really right now, you got to ask yourself a couple things. If you're feeling a lot of fear, if you're feeling a lot of uncertainty, it's because there's something wrong with your trading plan. Maybe you're somebody that was just consistently buying up the entire way prices were going up, and now that you're starting to see a correction, you're starting to feel a little bit scared. These are all normal things to have happen, but you got to remember that the reason why those are happening is because you don't actually have a sound plan in place. For me, right now, even though we are experiencing this correction, I always keep some cash on hand. I didn't keep very much cash during the COVID panic, and I really wish I would have. That was one of my bigger mistakes that I've made over the last few months. But this time, you know, I've been ready for the correction. I've been trading altcoins, but I've been taking those profits and moving them into USDT and specifically just any other stablecoin that's on the exchange. In my opinion, with what we're seeing right now, it's a good buying opportunity. Whether we go a little bit lower here or whether we just start to buy back up right now, it doesn't really change anything. Really what you guys want to look for is anything down 10%, 15, 20%. Those are the days where you want to just average into those positions. You pick your positions that have been performing well. For me, Chainlink's been doing really well. Tezos has been doing really well for me. You also have Ethereum that's been outperforming Bitcoin recently. These are the coins that, you know, over the next bull run, they're going to be outperforming the majority of the market. And so you look for the coins that are showing strength, and then you average into those days when you do start to experience a dip. And obviously, guys, you don't want to get too over leveraged, because strong sell-offs do happen in crypto all the time. And you never know, like just today, you wake up, Bitcoin looks to be breaking out, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bitcoin just gets rejected, and we have a gnarly $1,000 candle on the downside. These are things that are going to happen all the time, which is why the best thing to do is just to average into those dips when you are given them, because it's just an opportunity nonetheless. We aren't given a whole lot of opportunities all the time, especially when the bull run actually starts. You guys are going to see altcoins and Bitcoin really start to take off. Seem like you go weeks without even a pullback, and then out of nowhere, you know, one day it just crashes, and it seems like it just happens in such a short period of time, which is why you always want to be planning for that. You always want to expect the unexpected, because when we do that and we plan around knowing that eventually we're going to see a correction, then it allows you not to get so shaken out when the correction actually happens. Right now, this isn't even that big of a sell-off in retrospect, but nonetheless, a lot of people are treating it like the end of the world. And the reason for this is because most of the time people are either way too over leveraged, they were stuck buying the top, or, you know, any of these different reasons. Margin positions are something that I see a lot of people getting excited about. I know I've personally been taking margin positions, but you guys got to understand that when I take margin positions, I still have a stop loss. I don't even have a liquidation price because I'm not risking that much, and it's really just a way for you guys to minimize risk in your trading plan. If you're using leverage for making bigger returns, for taking out bigger positions, using those loans to just make a bigger position size in general, these are ways that you're going to lose all of your money. And I feel like it's important that I talk about this stuff right now, because, you know, I could talk about this in a video, or I could just talk about some simple tips like this. And in my opinion, it helps for me to actually connect with you guys a little bit better. You guys that don't need help obviously don't need to watch this, but I think that the majority of people that watch my channel, you know, you watch me to get these pointers. And right now, when we're seeing a correction, when we're seeing volatility, it's very important that I'm able to actually connect back with you guys in a way that you actually can understand. And, you know, for me, this is a really good way and format for understanding, because, you know, with the chart, I can show you guys specific levels, but at the end of the day, I can't predict price. I have no idea where price is going to go. I couldn't even tell you within an hour time frame. Sure, I can use technical analysis to give me an understanding, but really technical analysis is just for using and analyzing different levels in which prices can hit, different levels in which prices have shown a lot of value, where we do get reactions from, and then you can kind of trade it based off of that. But for me, guys, technical analysis is just one part of the equation. You have fundamental analysis, and then you also just have me talking about my perspective in general. And, you know, a lot of my perspective is longer term holds. That's what you guys will actually find inside of the signals, is about 80% go towards those long term holds. And so even while there's all of this volatility right now, it doesn't matter, because since 2019, I'm still up in a lot of profit, because I've just consistently averaged into those positions. On the down days, I've done what I could to, you know, buy a little bit more. And because of that, you know, all of this volatility doesn't affect me. The only real reason all of this volatility is affecting you is if you were buying high and then the market starts to correct. You were over leveraging yourself. You took way too big of positions, whether that was spot buys or margin positions, it doesn't matter. All of these are little factors that are going to get your emotions really rising. And I know exactly what that feels like, because I've been in crypto for a long time. You know, I was here back in 2016, I was here for 2017, and I was here throughout this entire bear market. And, you know, throughout all of these times, I experienced what a full-blown bull market feels like. I've experienced what the build-up phase of that bull run feels like. And I've experienced, you know, the top of that market when you start to actually get the bear market. I've experienced all of that, and I can tell you firsthand that I know how emotionally challenging it can get. But nonetheless, this is why it is so important that we analyze those emotions that we feel right now, because this is where we're going to be able to make adjustments to our trading plan. Ask yourself right now, if you're feeling scared right now, you're feeling over leveraged, you are listening to this video and you know that you made a lot of mistakes. I've actually touched up on some of those maybe with just what I've been saying recently. But let's say that you're in one of those positions. Well, right now is a great time where you can actually analyze yourself, you can look within, and then you can start to make the assumptions and understandings of what mistakes you're making wrong. Because you guys got to understand, now is the time to minimize those mistakes right now. With the market very still much immature, we still have a lot of upside potential to come. But if you don't learn how to stop those bad habits right now, you're gonna mess up and you're gonna actually lose out on a lot of that potential for the bull run. And I know that I've seen this firsthand. I've made the mistakes. I've gotten over leveraged after making a bunch of money, and then I've got liquidated and lost all of it, all because of short-term greed. And that's what we're gonna feel right now, especially with what Bitcoin just saw last night. We broke out, we had a massive move. Everybody got excited. I got excited. All of everybody's favorite traders got excited. And then what happened was this sell-off that we woke up to today. And this is why it's so important that we're not getting so emotionally attached with specific outcomes. I know a lot of people that are watching this, I bet a lot of you guys saw the Bitcoin breakout, went and bought a bunch of it, only to wake up today and see it starting to go back down again. I've been there and I understand exactly how frustrating that can be, which is why, now is the time. Analyze yourself. This might just be a short-term correction. We still might keep breaking up. It's hard to say exactly, but nonetheless, it doesn't change anything long-term, and that's the biggest thing. The reason why I put so much of my faith towards my long-term investments is because they're gonna be more consistent. They're gonna consistently outperform Bitcoin. They're gonna outperform Ethereum. And with that being said, I don't have to be sitting here trying to watch the charts all day. I can check on them, maybe I check on them once a day. During times of high volatility, maybe I'll check on them again. But nonetheless, guys, my trading plan has always been to the end of 2021. And so even with this volatility, I might get stopped out of a couple trades, but nonetheless, that's such a small amount of my portfolio that it doesn't even matter. I'm taking the loss and I'm moving on to the next trade. And that's the way that we should all be looking at this. You're gonna make way more money over this next cycle just by holding long term. By holding longer term, it makes it much easier to deal with this volatility, because I know how crazy crypto is. If you've been here throughout this time frame of 2016 to where we're currently at today, you know how crazy it is. Maybe you got in after this COVID panic, which consider yourself lucky because that was a volatile day. I mean, we just went through a 60% down day. And if you're still here holding through that, you guys got to understand that what we just saw today was nothing in the grand scheme of things. I survived COVID panic. If you survived COVID panic, then you should just wear a crown on your head. And your self-esteem should be like clear up here, because there's really no shakeout that was gnarlier than that one in cryptocurrency. And so, guys, this is a long-term game. Stick to your long-term holds. Use this as a good opportunity to buy. Really quickly, since we're not at a chart, it's a little bit harder for me to talk about specific price levels, but really what I'm watching for, we have a very major resistance at 10,500. What we're seeing right now is a sell-off after we actually hit the major descending resistance. Now, you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I've been drawing this for a while. We have a giant symmetrical triangle pattern that's forming inside of Bitcoin. And the symmetrical triangle is just a consolidation pattern. Basically, it forms a triangle and both support and resistance kind of converge at a finer point. And it's an indecisive move that, because we're in a bull run, I'm expecting to break out. But right now, Bitcoin's selling off because we just hit that resistance level. And, that doesn't mean that we need to be freaking out right now. It is possible that we could be seeing a little bit of an extended correction, which is why I want to talk about these things. If we do see a little bit of an extended correction, I haven't made a video about it, but I will tomorrow. Don't think that I'm just sitting here making these videos on camera. I just thought that today was a really beautiful day. I wanted to sit outside and talk about some things, but I will be on a chart tomorrow. But with all that being said, guys, if we do experience a little bit of a bigger correction, watch out for the potential of us heading back down to the mid 7Ks. That's something I've been updating you guys with. If you are somebody that's sitting here listening to this and you hear me talk about the potential of a bigger correction, 20-30%, just understand that it is possible. And if that does happen, analyze your current positions. Are you too over leveraged in margin trades? Do you not have a stop loss at all? Now is where you want to be setting those stop losses. You don't want to be holding on to losses when you could actually just be taking the loss short term and then, using that extra cash to rebuy the dip when in fact we do get that. And so these are all just different factors that we have to consider. The cool thing about price and the amazing thing with Bitcoin is the fact we don't even have to keep going down lower. We could still continue to impulse. which is why you have to have a plan for both. And this is my biggest reason why I focus so much on my longer term holds, is because the market's volatile. You can't predict exactly where price is going to go. Sure, you can set yourself up and you can use technical analysis to give you an advantage, which I do, but nonetheless, I'm not perfect. Technical analysis isn't perfect by any means. Fundamental analysis definitely isn't perfect by any means, which is why, focus on that long-term prospect. If you've got your long-term bags, use this as an opportunity to just invest into those dips. If you're feeling scared, it's because you're too over-leveraged. If you're too over-leveraged, sell some of that position, move it into Tether, move it into something else, or do a number of these different things, because that's personally what I've always done and what's helped me in the times past. Whenever I've been over leveraged, if I just take that time to invest back into the dollar, sometimes sitting out and taking no trade is the best trade of all. And right now, Bitcoin's at a major resistance. We have the horizontal resistance at 10,500, and we also have the descending resistance at pretty much the same exact point. Both of these are converging at a very strong resistance level, and when that happens, it's very, very important to understand that it's a higher time of risk. Even with this higher time of risk, you don't want to be buying at resistance. In fact, you want to be taking profits at resistance. I've been posting a lot of sells inside of the Discord. We've been taking those profits because you don't want to get stuck inside of that trade. That's just the worst thing of all. It sucks to be in profit only to see it pump and then end up falling way below, and then you're taking a loss for no reason. These are all things to consider here, guys. But once again, I think that the morale of this story is to just hold through. It's not a big deal. If you're a long-term investor like me, then this really shouldn't even affect you at all. I am the least bit scared right now because, even with me holding margin positions, and I've been posting on Twitter saying that I'm holding the biggest margin positions of my life, that is not false. That is 100% true. But when I say that I'm holding the biggest margin positions of my life, I'm still managing that risk the entire way through. I'm not over leveraged. I don't even have a liquidation price. I've got a stop loss set in general. If you guys have a liquidation price and a stop loss, understand, guys, that if you're messing up on your stop loss and the prices really crash fast like we just saw, you might not even get filled on your stop loss and you might get liquidated, which is why you don't want to over leverage yourself. I'm using very, very low leverage. I'm using about 3x leverage right now. And I also have enough margin collateral that I'm not going to get liquidated. And even if the prices had a short-term crash, even if we had one of those black swan events where the price just randomly wicks down to nothing on exchanges, I have a stop loss in place to where I would get filled on that. And so these are all things that you got to consider. When it comes to being a profitable trader, you got to have plans for all outcomes. On top of that, the biggest majority of my position is just in a long-term trade till 2021, and so I don't even need to worry. But anyways, guys, this is the video I had for you. Just want to talk about some thoughts and perspective. I'd really like to hear where you guys are tuning in from. How are you feeling with all of this volatility? Are you guys bearish? Are you expecting that we're going to have another major sell-off? Or do you guys actually think that this is just a shakeout before we start to break out and really confirm this bull run that we've been waiting for? But yeah, guys, with all that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember to join the Discord server by clicking in the description of this video. On the Discord server, I offer the exclusive content like the video course and signals. Remember, guys, this is really a good opportunity for anybody that wants to get involved with my trading plan. We've been making really good profits inside of there. Zilliqa was one, Theta was one. We've had a lot of really good performers in there, and I've been making a lot of profit. This is really the best way for you guys to just copy somebody and just stick to that trading plan. Because like I said, the majority of my trades are long-term, which means you don't even have to really do anything at all. If you do want to take an extra 20% of that portfolio and move to day trades, I post them a lot. I post them consistently. It's a mix of margin trades. It's a mix of short-term spot trades. And it's also some mix of longer-term trades as well. And so you guys are going to be able to get a nice understanding of how I actually take my positions. You're going to be able to copy my portfolio and make those profits with me. And you're really going to be following along with the best performing assets. That's the biggest thing here. I like to give you guys the best trades. I've been in this market for a while. I can see which ones are outperforming. And for that, I can invest into those and just see where it goes. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys join the Discord server. Click in the description of this video. Once you guys have access, shoot me a message and I'll get back to you with all of the information needed on how to sign up. With all that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.